Junk removal is not scalable. Let's talk about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Andrew. I'm a serial entrepreneur, a software engineer, and an ex-junk removal business owner. I started a junk removal business as a stepping stone to return to my passion of technology and apps. I invite you guys to stick around, hang out, follow me on my journey from recently selling my junk removal business to building a billion-dollar home services app called Autopilot. And that is true. If you guys want to skip all this and just get to the meat and potatoes of the video, go right here. I'm going to give you a 20-hour, $1,000 course. I'm doing 6 months of coaching, 2 classes a month, and also 1 Q&A per month. The classes will be recorded. There is countless resources with my pricing sheets, door hangers, contracts, Google Ads, negative keywords, call recordings of my actual VAs crushing it on the phones. I mean, it is insane. And what gets even crazier is I'm going to include a 50-page website made specifically for junk removal, SEO optimized and ready to go. It is a $5,000 value, and I'm not kidding when I say that, because this is 50 pages. This is literally $15,000 in value that if I were to mentor somebody and I were to give you my course and I were to do this website for you, there would have to be an insane price tag. If you guys want to know when the first class starts, just check the video description. All the information will be down there. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You get all of this for free if you sign up for Autopilot and use Autopilot at $50 a month. Let's talk about the Junk Expo. October 24th to the 25th, I'm one of the speakers. This is going to be a crazy event. It sold out last year, and I think tickets are only like $250 for 2 days, 12 speakers, 20 vendors, drinks, food, amazing time, networking. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be talking about some cool stuff. I'm gonna obviously be talking about my software, but I have some huge announcements I'm gonna be making at the event. I'm also giving away a $10,000 dump trailer at the event, no strings attached. I hope to see you guys there. If you want to buy a ticket, go right here, junkexpo.com with a hyphen in the middle of Junk Expo. Another controversial topic. I think this is controversial. A lot of people tell me how quickly they want to get off the truck and they're going to build this empire. And I'm not here to shoot down anybody's dreams. When I said junk removal is not scalable, everything is scalable. The reason why I wanted to clickbait you in is because I wanted to just kind of like tell you my experience of how difficult it is to scale this business. I scaled pretty fast. I'd like to think I was one of the faster ones who scaled this business. And I did very well. And I'm gonna do another video explaining why I sold, even though it was doing very well. There's the video here explaining why I quit junk removal, but I'm gonna do another more in-depth video because a lot of people have been asking me. Kind of wanna do another update video, but junk removal is a very hard business to scale. Let's come up with a definition of scaling real quick. According to Google AI, business scaling refers to the strategic process of growing a business by increasing revenue at a faster rate than the increase in associated cost. Here's what I learned. I got my first junk removal location to $50,000 a month. By month 4 or something like that, I was at $40,000, and I started averaging 40 to 60 grand. That was in Ventura County with a 900,000 to a million population. My best month was almost 70,000, including tips, okay? So keep that in mind. That was including tips. I think that month we had 11,000 in tips in total, so 5,000 in tips per location. So probably $65,000 per location in literally 1 month. So getting that first location with 1 truck and building up the leads and the repeat business and some commercial contracts and building up that first location, I want you to think about how long it took you to get where you're at now with location number 1. And I did that in 6 months, okay? So pretty good. So I thought, okay, I couldn't get another truck running in Ventura County because I was going purely off Google Ads at that point. Thumbtack, Google Ads, and Craigslist. I had enough work to load up, fill up 1 truck every day. Yes, even Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays. We had dumps open on Sundays and people wanted junk removed on Sundays. So that truck was running 7 days a week, making $50,000 a month, but it was capped out. I was at my max spend on Google, and Thumbtack was starting to suck, and I wasn't gonna spend money on Yelp, and I hadn't started Facebook, but there was no more search volume available for Google Ads. I had maxed out what I can spend per day. I had my max spent to $500 per day, but it averaged about $300 ad spend per day. And including my repeats and referrals that I was growing for those 6 months, which wasn't too much because, you know, I was only 6 months in, and then the Google ads running, that location was maxed. Unless I started doing some major SEO, became #1 for every keyword, or started maxing out Facebook ads or Yelp ads, or figuring out other sources of traffic, that was a solution. But in my eyes, I was like, it's gonna take too long for me to get a second truck running full time to make another $50,000 a month. I wanted to just crank out another location and make another $50,000 a month. I thought it would be easier to go to another city because that truck was just cranking. It was killing it with Google ads, right? I was still profitable running just that location off Google ads. I looked at my wife and I was like, honey, we can just keep launching new locations and new trucks. I was like, you know, let's get 2-3 locations running. I can go back and work on my app. At the time was Gypsy, a travel app. And I was like, and this will just run itself. I'll get a CEO in place, or, you know, an operations manager. And, you know, we'll just collect $15K a month and that's it. So I bought another dump truck, moved to Los Angeles, which was an hour and a half away from Ventura County. I was in Ventura County with location #1 and ran the Google ads. This was on month 6 or 7 when we moved to LA. Ventura's doing great. I got the F-150 with the trailer, my employees, it's killing it. The LA location was a rough start. It was expensive to get into the Google ads game. For the first 2 months, I was worried. The conversions are worse out here. I'm spending way more, but I know Google. I'm like, it's gonna work out eventually. Like, I know my ads are good. I know I'm doing it right. I was like, it's gonna eventually balance out with Google's algorithm. Like, eventually the cost per conversion will balance out, and I'll start taking like certain cities away where it's lower income and start adjusting, and that's exactly what I did. The ads got better. I figured out which pockets to advertise in, and I'm spending $500, $700 a day, mostly 500. It would max out all the time to 500. Sometimes I'd crank it to 700. Eventually, the LA location started being profitable, but it was a very rough start, like breaking even, because I wasn't on the truck. That was the first mistake, is I should have been on the truck. I'm literally just trying to start a new location with 2 employees immediately. So I'm trying to make money from the first week from Google ads to pay the employees and be profitable. There was a point in time where I was like, holy shit, is LA gonna work? And it's because I was only relying on Google ads to get things moving fast. I wanted to make money fast. If I started doing SEO in LA and start doing business walk-ins and I started doing yard signs, I'm not gonna make enough money to get that truck running full-time with employees. I'm gonna be on the truck. After I finally got that second location running, I tried to do a third, try to get a third truck running in LA. So I bought a third truck. So 2 dump trucks. I had the F-150 and the trailer up in Ventura County. I had the LA truck running full time. We're kicking ass finally. It's doing better. We're profitable. Even after ad spend and paying employees. You know, the margins were a little worse in LA. The margins were much better in Ventura County, because I was like, you know what? I can just crank up the ad budget now, right? From $500 a day, let's try doing $1,000 a day. So I'm still spending $300-ish a day. Sometimes it's spend $200, sometimes it's spend $400. Very rarely would Ventura ever hit $500. Very rarely per day. So we're like hovering around $300 a month in Ventura. We're spending $500 a day in LA. I cranked the ad budget to 1,000 and tried to get a second truck in LA, because there's so many more people in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, there's like 3.5 million people. Los Angeles County, 11 million, but the whole county's big. I'm only serving the 3.54 million in Los Angeles. So I'm just like, there's enough search volume on Google ads. Surprisingly, it would not spend $1,000 a day every day. Some days it would, and I'm sure if I kept it going, there would be days where I could spend $1,000, more than $1,000. I'm sure I could, but I set my budget to $1,000 a day. I could not get enough volume from Google ads to get both trucks running consistently. Even though I was doing good with the 500, you know, I was spending per day, keeping the truck busy, and I'm profitable. And maybe I needed to do it a little bit longer, but it was getting too expensive. It was just a very dangerous game. And for me to truly get 2 trucks running in LA, I would have had to start utilizing other sources. Thumbtack, Yelp, trying to get commercial accounts. That stuff takes time. I was trying to scale. I then started weighing out the options of launching a location in Denver, where I'm from, Colorado. And the options are this: okay, go out there, live out there. I have a family out here. I have a wife, I have 2 kids, and I fly out all the time, or I stay out there for 2 weeks at a time. And you got to find an employee you trust to run that company. I have to buy new equipment for out there. How am I going to deal with all the chaos when trucks break down and tires go flat, or an employee loses his shit and quit? There's just so many variables that it makes sense that I should probably move out there temporarily to get that location going, or constantly fly back and forth. And then I'm also risking running Google ads and doing that whole Google ads play again, where it's like, okay, waiting for the algorithm to kind of equalize and get to that proper conversion and do the adjustments so that my ads are perfect and where we start making money. But then I'm not even in that state. I want to be very clear, guys. Had I played the game correctly and stayed in the game, and like, I'm just going to commit to put tons of social media content. I'm going to turn on Facebook ads like crazy. I'm going to do SEO like crazy. I'm going to commit for a long time to slowly building up to getting enough jobs to run 2 trucks in LA, not just rely on Google ads. But I didn't want to sit around for another year or 2 to get another truck running and another truck. So what are the options? How do you scale in this business? Scaling is moving faster than a truck every 1 to 2 years. So how do you launch a new location so that you don't have to be on the truck and that you have enough jobs for 2 employees on the truck to run that truck full time? Capital and credit. You need to be able to afford the equipment. You need to be able to afford all the insurance. And then if you want, you need to be able to afford to pay the employees at least 2 months to make sure that they're good, because you don't know if you're going to be profitable from day one. And then guess what? You need money for ad spend like crazy. You got to be able to run Facebook ads, Thumbtack ads, and Google ads if you want to scale and launch a new truck fast without you having to be on it. So I want you guys to keep in mind, I was trying to scale without me having to keep getting back on the truck and grow that truck 1 year at a time, slowly. Doing yard signs and doing business walk-ins and doing blah, 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 doing SEO, and until you finally can get 1 employee with you. And then you can finally, you get off the truck and get a 2nd employee. I wanted to scale. I'm not trying to get back on the truck when I'm off the truck. So that's when it hit me. So this is why people franchise. It is very hard to own multiple trucks in multiple locations because of the distance, which is quality control, the capital, the credit, and it is a very hard business to scale, which is why everybody franchises. And I'm going to do a franchise video why I think franchises are a scam besides Got Junk. If you guys want me to do that video, type in franchise in the comments for the algorithm, and I'll drop my franchise video why I think junk removal franchises are a scam. That is why I've realized that junk removal is not scalable in the sense of scaling fast. And if you don't want to scale fast, you just let it grow as it grows. That's fine. 5 years in, you might have 3 trucks going. Cool. I was 2 years in. I wasn't wanting to wait another 2 years. I wanted to pop up location after location after location, and then it hit me. Oh shit, this is a little more difficult. And I could have done it. I want to be very clear. Had I wanted to stick around and play that game, I would have played that game. But we all know, for 2-3 years now, I've been saying, I'm Andrew, serial entrepreneur, software engineer, and junk removal business owner. I started a junk removal business in California as a tool to return to my passion of technology and programming. I invite you guys to stick around, hang out, follow me on my path for becoming a junk removal business titan to building a $1 billion home services app to compete with House Call Pro and Workies. So yeah, I wanted to get back in tech for a long time, because tech, you can go from literally a $100,000 company to a $100 million company overnight. And that's only because you can literally have 1 customer, then your product is so good that it goes viral, and then you have 5,000 customers using your software overnight. Tech is the quickest way to hundreds of millions of dollars. Long story short, junk removal is not scalable in the sense that I wanted to scale. Can you scale it? Yeah, you can scale it slowly unless you have capital and credit. And that wasn't my dream. That wasn't my mission. The right entrepreneur, the right business owner, they could probably scale it. It was just me. That was what I struggled with. There's a guy out there who does I think on his 5th year, he hit $1 million. He's got 2 locations, 1 location up north, northeast. I don't want to mention the state. Then he launched a location all the way southeast. He's got 2 locations. He hit $1 million. He talks about it all the time in the Facebook groups. He hit $1 million on his 5th year. It took 5 years for him to hit $1 million gross, and he only pays himself like $125,000. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. That's incredible. A lot of people would be very happy with that, and I was very happy with what I did, but I wanted to come build software. And he's still at $1 million 3 years later. I think he's been in business for 8 years now, almost a decade, and he's still doing $1 million gross. Very smart man, knows what he's doing. And honestly, I wanted a little more than that out of, the next business that I started, which is why I wanted to build software. I just want to be completely honest with you guys because I'm trying to be authentic and transparent. Now, I know some people, they're on the truck still doing $500,000 gross a year, and they're making $250,000 because they're on the truck. They're taking more of the profits. They didn't get off the truck right away. So you have to kind of balance that. Like, you can make fucking killer money if you're willing to run the entire show yourself. Stack up that cash for a few years, then get off the truck, take a little bit less profit, but you've stacked up cash, you bought your house. There's all kinds of ways. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, right? And that was just my experience of why junk removal is not scalable. With that being said, guys, I leave you with this. Success is often covered in dirt, but so is gold at one point. Toodles! Whoopsh. This product, I know I can truly turn into a billion-dollar company. The benefits outweigh the cost. And make sure that we have the best software in the world. My software, Autopilot, is finally here. I truly believe we are going to be the best platform. This will be the software of choice in the home service industry.